I'm Michael McLaughlin, and you're watching Niagara Pro Tips. Hello, and welcome back to our multi-part series on Niagara Cloud Services. Today, we're going to talk about the web interface. There are two different personas that you can use when you log into the Niagara Cloud Services. One of them is the customer persona, and the other one is the partner persona. We're going to show you the partner persona today. When you first authenticate and log in, you'll be landing on the home page. The home page in the top left corner will have your business name. The business that I'm using is Niagara Smart Buildings. And under this, you will see all the customers that have been onboarded and set up with the Niagara Cloud Service. There's a search function in the right-hand corner to narrow down your results should you have more customers than fit on the page. For example, I'll start typing engineering and I'm presented with the only customer with that name. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's inside. Once you selected the customer, you're presented with a list of projects on the left and devices on the right. Under the projects, you will see there's an all projects, a list of projects, and then a search to narrow down the list of projects should they not fit on the page. I'm going to go ahead and do a search. As you can see, my list quickly is sorted to the project that I'm looking for. On the right, you'll see the devices that are associated with that project. Should I clear my search results on the left and click on all projects, I'll have a full list of all the devices with the device name, the host ID, the project name, the location, and the services that are available. There's also a search in the upper right hand corner that I can narrow down my devices. So let's do that. Now, I've started to type in Navarre, which is the project and location name, and you can see I get my device. But all of these columns, devices, host ID, project, and location, are searchable. So if I knew that it was a supervisor, I can start typing in the host ID. So when I type WIN, we see that my results automatically sort, and I am presented with the only supervisor that I have as a device. Let's go ahead and clear that. Under the projects, I have the option to create a new project. I'll simply click the button, put in a name, and hit create. As you can see, that project has 0 devices in it. If I wanted to edit this name, I could click on the edit button and change the name. If I want to delete the project, I can simply hit the trash icon and confirm that I want to delete that project. Let's go ahead and look at some of the services that are available. I'm going to go ahead and choose my Navarre project. This is the device I have. And as you can see, under services, there's a bunch of blue icons. If the icon was gray, that would mean that that service is not available. One of the services is called alarms. Today we won't be showing any of those functions because it is in beta and those feature sets will be changing. We have data services, remote, and recover. When we click on data services, we're taken to a new view. As you can see at the top, there's a breadcrumb trail to identify where you are in the Niagara Cloud Service: home, the customer, and data service. We're taken first to the device that I had selected. As you can see, I have a list of histories. I can select which histories by ticking the checkbox and see them. Right now, that history is set to month to date, so I can change that to the last 7 days if I wish. I could add histories. And I can also select a different project and a different device and select those histories. So we'll let this pull up. And as you can see, this chart grows with whatever I select as a trend. And I can view these. One of the cool things I can do is I can export this and I can save it as a PDF or a CSV file. The other thing I can do is save this report. Give it a title and click Save. We'll review some saved reports later. Another way I can find my history, should this be a very long list, is I can choose tag ID. And if I'm using tags such as haystack, I can search for that particular marker tag. So I'm going to go ahead and type in H4:air. And now I have a smaller set of results that are only the H4 or haystack 4 tags. You can search for a project within here, and when you're looking at the chart, you will have the ability to collapse the projects window. To go back, I can simply click on the customer in the breadcrumb. Remote. Niagara Remote is a great way to connect to your Jace and do some engineering. It's very simple to use and set up. And once you're logged in, you can select what Jace you want to connect to. It is a one-to-one connection. I can click on the remote icon and a new browser window will open, taking me to my remote station. Here you can see I have my username. Now this username won't be the same as your Niagara Cloud service. It is the actual username and password or credentials to the remote Jace that you're connecting to. Let's go back. The next item is Recover. Go ahead and click on that. Recover is the backup service. Your Jace or supervisor or any Niagara station would be backed up automatically. As you can see here, I have a list of 5 backups. That is the maximum. There is no size limit on these backups. But one of the nice things that I can do with my backup is I can mark it as preferred. So this top one has a star. You can see that the date is June, and we are in October now. And if I click on this edit button, there's a tick box here where I can say mark this backup as preferred, and I can add any notes that I might need to. If I needed to restore, I can choose download. To get back, once again, we click on the customer. Over here on the right, we see that we have the kebab menu. Now the kebab menu allows me to edit some of the items of this onboarded device. 1, the device name. 2, the location. And if I needed to move it to a different project, I could do so. Back to the kebab menu, I also have a usage metrics. And this will tell me how much data egress I've incurred. And re-register. Should you have to replace a Jace, you could re-register it so it would use the pre-existing data in the Niagara Cloud service. And of course you could delete. Another thing that you'll notice is up here on the right, we have something called service accounts. Now if you're integrating this data with a third-party service, such as Grafana or someone who's doing fault detection, you may need to use our API for that service to connect to the data. And this is where you would set up one of those accounts. So I'll go ahead and click on that. Now in here I have a list of service accounts, which is basically a key and a client ID. I can search for these, so I'll search for mine. And you can see I have one right here, and it has an expiration date. Let's go ahead and create a new account. So I can name this my FDD. Let's go ahead and enter a description. FDD for VAV. Then you'll want to set an expiration date. One has already been chosen for you, that's 180 days out. Let's go ahead and click Manage Access. Here you will select what device from what project that you wish to use this service account with. I'll go ahead and choose my Jace and create account. Now this is very important. Your client ID is going to be needed along with your client secret. Your client secret is only presented when you create this service account. So as soon as I hit close, it will no longer be available for security reasons. So please take care to copy it down immediately. I don't need this service account, so I'm going to go ahead and close this. FDD. And I'm going to delete. Now let's go back to our customer. So we've covered how to find our projects, how to find our devices, what services are available for these devices. Now let's go ahead and look at this menu up here, the hamburger menu. When I open this hamburger menu, I told you that we were going to look at saved reports. So when we created the report with the data service, we can find them here. So here's a list of my reports. I can search for them. Let's type in my name, and I can recall this report that I have saved. And from here, I can do the same as when I first created the report. I can download a chart PDF, or I can export to CSV. Let's go back to our hamburger menu, users and roles. When you onboard a customer, their user accounts that are associated with them in Niagara Central will be located inside users and roles. As you can see, we have some listed here, and they're partners or their customers. I'm going to go ahead and search for a customer that does not have any access. So I'm going to search for myself. So this account listed right here is a customer. As you notice, there is no scope, and this is the default setting when the users that are part of a customer have been onboarded. So I can go ahead and click on the name, and from here I can click Manage. Right now it's set to no access. I can click on Custom, and here the role is a user role, and I can select what project, and or I can select what devices. So I can go through here and say that I want them to have this. The only devices that will show up are those that have been registered with that particular customer. So let's see, we want that one. And save. Now, when I go back to my users and roles, I'll search for that customer. We see that that particular user now has a scope inside their company. And we'll go back. The home button takes me here. And that's it. That's the web interface for the Niagara Cloud service. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more in our multi-part series on the Niagara Cloud Suite.